So the 2-0 win for Napoli. They are now unbeaten in their last 10 matches after losing that first match on match day 1, 3-0 to Verona. But look at these numbers. They've had 23 goals for, but only 2 allowed in their last 10 matches, which is absolutely staggering. We spoke to Marco Messina yesterday, who kind of said we should be watching out for Napoli all season long because he was very intrigued about how they would perform under Antonio Conte. So he's not terribly surprised by the success of Napoli so far this season. But Nico, are you surprised by how well they are doing?
Yes, because to be so consistent very early on in a new project, it's not easy. And to go out and kind of just like dispatch Milan relatively easily,
calmly.
It's not an easy thing. There's some irony in that, right? But Antonio Conte, I think yesterday we were talking a lot about the 4-4 of Inter Juve in the Derby d'Italia and the fireworks on display and whatnot. But there is a lot of beauty and a lot of security in organization. And Conte is a manager that is very organization first. He's very, I don't like saying defensive minded because then everybody thinks
Catenaccio.
Exactly, because it's not, because they are much more evolved than Catenaccio. It has Catenaccio aspects, and yes, you solidify defensively, you start on a basis of organization, but you got to have guys up top that make things happen. So, yes, I'm surprised. Could he have? I don't think I would have predicted this positive of a start for Napoli,
especially after week 1. Everyone's eyebrows kind of raised, and it was like, oh no, what is this going to look like? But he has righted the ship, and it feels like, Darren, when you're a player and you have a manager who has such a clear idea of how he wants the team to play, and you know your role, it's so easily defined. How much pressure does that take off a player, knowing exactly what's expected of you?
It takes a lot of pressure off and gives so much confidence, as Nico's saying, when you have that defensive structure, that defensive identity where you know the principles, you know exactly what you're doing. When this goes wrong, everybody can filter into this position because that's been clear and cut out. Then when you do have possession, you're up in the attack, you can actually enjoy the match. You can express yourself. You can be Lukaku and just body defenders off of you. And we're seeing them express themselves, and I love this for Napoli. I think you're seeing players just feel confident and really find their groove with this team finally.
A lot had to go right for Napoli, right? Antonio Conte, can he get back to his winning ways, you know? Can Lukaku come back and be the player he had been under Conte in the past? Can Scott McTominay be that flash that we saw at Manchester United where at moments he was their best player on the pitch? Can all those things happen consistently? And what you're seeing is that exactly happening and coming true. It's one of those things where it's kind of beautiful, all of these things happening at once.
7 points clear at the top, Alexis. Is this sustainable?
It feels like it, and it's because of what Nico mentioned. Defensively, I don't want to say stout. And again, I want to do the same thing that Nico did, which is avoid the idea of that it's a Catenaccio, because this feels like a slightly more Italian version of what Roberto De Zerbi was trying to do at Brighton, which is draw you in, make you come to me, and then spring as soon as that happens. And that's exactly what's happened. There were moments where they were 6 at the back for this team. You're not going to get through them. If exactly like they did here, you go up a goal and they could just lock you out. Yeah. And there's no way you're going to waste yourself. You're going to exhaust yourself trying to find a way through them. And that just bleeds a team of all of their energy.
And then on top of that, when they do have the ball, they have a good sense of where to find those spaces. Milan, on the first goal, Milan were terrible. Milan did leave lagoons of spaces for them to kind of just ping balls through, and but they sensed it. They had they saw it, they smelled blood on the water, and I said, okay, you guys are going to give this to us? It was like a 3-pass sequence from the midfield. There was a space around Musa. I was obviously focused on Musa because he got the start given Pulisic's stomach bug, right? That's why he wasn't starting. So, but simple as that, Zamboanguissa received in between lines. He picked out Lukaku. Lukaku sat Pavlovic down. He freaking bulldozed the guy, and Pavlovic isn't small.
No, that's a big boy.
Yeah. How disrespectful to Lukaku, former Inter player, former Scudetto winning Inter player, to go to the San Siro against Milan and just sit down a defender. like a little kid. Nah, that's not okay. If you're Milan, that's not okay. Poor Pavlovic.
Well, he's putting up some decent numbers for Napoli this season. 4 goals, 4 assists in 8 matches. Did we think that this was going to be a good fit for him when this move was made?
I mean, clearly he's comfortable with Conte, and Conte knows how to get the best out of him. But Lukaku's one of those players that I never know which version of him is going to show up.
Very
Seems
wishy-washy.
like Conte has figured out a way to make him a bit more consistent. And to your point, they weren't just sitting back. I think trying to get the 3rd goal. Yeah, he missed a shot, Anguissa missed a shot, somebody else missed a shot. They were trying to attack, and seeing that from Lukaku, that instinct to want to go and get more and keep going, the Geico get more actually, is beautiful. Beautiful. Shouts to Geico.
Big Geico.
Can I get a discount? Is there a friends and family discount?
What a pitch, man. Incredible.
It's going back to the original topic of Napoli. If I would have told you Napoli are going to lose their manager, they're going to lose Victor Osimhen, they're going to lose Kim Min-jae, they're going to lose Piotr Zielinski, and they're going to be contenders for Scudetto the season after.
Where did they finish last season?
Oh, that's a great question.
7th, around there.
It was out of Champions League.
Europe, so maybe more under Torino then. Like, I don't think after the Scudetto winning season,
They were 10th.
10th.
10th?
Yeah, below Roma.
Wow.
Torino,
yeah, no,
my bad.
no.
Below
To answer your
Torino.
question, no.
It's crazy. So there's
Didn't they do that before, though? They lost their spine, right? They lost the year before they won the Scudetto. They lost like 3 important players. I can't remember. It was Kim Min-jae, I think, the one year.
Say it again.
The year before they won the Scudetto.
year before they won the Scudetto.
Going into that Scudetto winning year, they lost very important players.
Insigne, Koulibaly,
yeah, of course.
Mertens.
Dries Mertens.
Right,
It wasn't Kim Min-jae was there, but they did it again.
Agree.
They find a way to reinvent themselves at a moment where you think like, oh, you lost important players, you're never going to be able to make this up.
Yeah.
They find a way to do it.
Yep.
And I don't want to hand Napoli a Scudetto because we're so far from handing somebody Scudetto in May of 2025. And Napoli, historically, before this last Scudetto from 2 seasons ago, they are a team that fights in
They're
these
7
positions,
points clear.
right? So
That's not nothing
Right.
at this point
Especially
in the
in this
season.
league, especially with Inter playing as good as they do, with a beast of a team that they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's something that deserves
It's
praise.
a great storyline.
Because I wouldn't have expected it ever.
Antonio Conte, stock very high. On the other side of this matchup, though, AC Milan and Paulo Fonseca, who started out the season very much on the hot seat after a string of poor results. And you're looking at this starting 11. Darian, did he miss the mark here?
I think so. I think he lost the locker room a little bit, too.
Yeah.
Leao's body language on the sideline when he came in post-match kind of told the story that, well, I'm not going to give my all to this. I'm one of the best players on your team. You're not going to start me because to send a message, especially with Pulisic out. I think he definitely made the wrong decision. I think you saw especially Loftus-Cheek that was really off in this match. Just, it looked like the energy wasn't there. He didn't have the same buy-in from the team.
Your main guys, Theo and Leão, you need them on the same page with what you want as a manager, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, because it's one thing if the results are going your way and you're quote unquote teaching a lesson, right? And they're disrespecting you or they're not giving you what you want, all right, bench them and we'll get the results. You get the results. That's one scenario. This is not the scenario. Because they're not playing well. They're sitting 8th in Serie A, and then they have Real Madrid next in Champions League. So ultimately, I don't think that Paulo Fonseca is clear of a potential sacking. I'd still question whether, if I was the leadership
Look at
at
their
Milan,
upcoming fixtures. They've got at Monza this weekend, at Real Madrid, at Cagliari, versus Juventus, and then Bratislava. What would save his job?
Win at Monza, draw at Real Madrid, win at Cagliari, draw at Juventus, and win at Bratislava.
You don't think he needs a big win between?
but Bratislava doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're going to win that game.
But
can win
now
that
you have
game
a run, you have an undefeated run.
Right.
That would save his job. Any loss in that,
Juve could do it.
You're out.
Juve could do it.
What if he loses this weekend
to Monza,
to Monza?
Yeah.
new manager against
I don't know.
You do it before Real
Real
Madrid?
Madrid? Yeah.
Before?
Yeah.
Zlatan
bring in
is
the lame
a,
duck.
Zlatan is a football guy. Beyond the results, I think he needs to see on the pitch something that is worthy of Milan. And
He
yesterday,
did not look happy yesterday.
getting bodied by Napoli at the San Siro is not worthy of Milan. So you do have a string of games where you need to prove something with the ball. And Real Madrid and Juve, against the smaller teams, Milan has enough quality, I don't care. Against Madrid, against Juve, that's going to show the true colors of where this team is really at, and if Fonseca's the man to take them into the right direction.
Nico, you said a month ago in a Bro Am I Buggin' segment,
Yeah.
is Fonseca still in the hot seat? And that was a month ago.
I don't know if he was off the hot seat because of one game,
And
because
Matteo
of
said
Derby.
no, he's not on the hot seat anymore.
That win against
Here
Inter
we go.
gets covered up a lot.
Covered up a lot,
But with
because
duct
we're
tape.
coming full
But the
circle.
cheap duct tape you get at the dollar
Full
store.
circle.
Derbies don't take into consideration context.
Good.
So Chris
This is
Bliss's
nice.
going to have, what,
We
9
have
managers now?
a new manager to watch instead of Eric Ten Hag.